I said publicly on the podcast that the beginning of this year, the goal is $1 million in top line revenue. And did we hit that this year? No, we did not. But I'm so happy with where the business is and where it's at. So we did increase revenue by 30%. And even better than that is we increased like the bottom line by about 40%. I made a lot more money. I worked a lot less. And even on the rental side of things, like we are technically at that tier 1, like financial freedom just from the rentals we bought over 3 years. Like I've only done this for 3 years. And what my balance sheet looked like 3 years ago to what it looks today is a very, very different story. And it was just like a combination of sitting down and reflecting, but like, this was a lot of hard work, but at least I can see the fruits of that labor now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's amazing, dude.
It's funny. I always forget you've only been doing this for 3 years. I feel like you've been doing it for so much longer.
That's crazy.
Now I left in November of 2021 is when I left my job. So I guess technically, but I didn't do my first deal until 2022.
That's super quick turnaround.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll reach because I started doing real estate in 2018. So this was like my 7th year, but I didn't start wholesaling until like 2020. So you'll start to reach the phase though now where you get like that consistent like big win, and that's when you get like a lot more confidence. I would say it'll sort of take like bigger risks and those sort of things, because not only do you have the assets, but you also have like the recurring income, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and like the level 1 financial freedom is cool, but then you're like, but I also am confident that I can make $500,000 this year.
Yeah.
So I don't care about that as much.
Yeah. And that's really totally true, but it's more like a security blanket, you know.
For sure. Yeah. But nice, man. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's incredible too. I would add to that ask to that is for people that have been doing it 3 years, what do you think made you different or unique compared to somebody who's doing it 3 years now or 2 years or even in their first year and they're just like, man, I'm hoping to pay my bills this year? Because every one of the Dylans, there's 100 people like that.
It's a loaded question. I would say am not and have never been afraid to work very long days and very long time. Yeah. And I wasn't afraid to ask, like I paid for CCF right when we first started. I paid for Scale right when we first started. I didn't start starting from scratch. I kind of started with a leg up because I paid for the people who were already successful to teach me what they were doing and just executed. You know, I guess I went to a whole ton of meetups, you know, at the beginning. I knew everybody in town. So a combination of just, it's cliche, hard work and learning from people who are already successful and being a shameless loner.
Yeah, and I would say one thing that you've also got done is taking imperfect action. Mm-hmm. You're one of the few people that I've met, like you'll come on here and after the show, you'll ask us some questions. And next thing you know, you're doing it like that day.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it's true.
Yeah. Whereas I can't tell you how many people over the years have asked questions around stuff. And I tell them very blankly what we do. And then I see them like 2 months later posting
asking
on Facebook, asking the same question to like general people. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you do it 2 months ago, dude? Like that's why you're not successful.
That's a learned skill. Having a default to action is a learned skill. And actually, when we went to Scottsdale at the first KeysCon, and you guys asked for feedback, that was my number one thing that's different than a lot of stuff is the whole thing was a default to action. Like you had to do shit. You can't just think about it. So
Yeah, I want to summarize those 3 things too, because it's in my head as far as it's actually quite simple. One is being willing to work, and people want to get into be entrepreneurships because they think they don't have a boss, they don't have to work very hard. It's like, no, you got to work way harder, but it's way more fruitful, way more satisfying. Second is what I would have used to say is be willing to pay to go faster, which I think is still relevant, but I think it's in a different phrasing right now. I would put it as recognize you don't have to do it all yourself. You can go and learn it. You don't have to learn and build it yourself. You can go and have somebody and take their shit and replicate it. As Matt King from GoBundance says, rip off and duplicate. I think you got to be willing to do that. And then the last one is brand. And I think that's actually more relevant than anything right now. Mike and I were just talking about this, about one of the dudes here locally who left the company he worked for, a wholesale company, and has done extremely well for himself. And it's all because of brand. It's all because of the meetups. It's all because he was out there on social media. So however you become a known quantity in your real estate community, doesn't matter which way you do it, whether it's social media or in person or just calling people, like that is going to make you more successful than most anything. Because you pair that with hard work, you won't have an income issue.